answer this very simple question in the chat. So, what brings you here today? Maybe just a one-liner of sorts. That's okay. So, what brings you here? Please feel free to chat your answer in the. All right. So, Alfio mentioned learn low code tools so that I can help MSME. Nice. Of course, we are here to learn. Curious on how no code works. Genuinely want to explore more the tech industry, learn how to use the tool. Of course, challenge myself. And yes, developer software solution using Softr. Widen my skill set on the chosen field. Learn no code and develop a website to develop a new skill set. Right? So many things, so many. This is probably one of the highest turnouts on the events. We are now pushing 42. All right. Maureen said, I'm interested in learning how to develop using no-code tools, learning no-code tools, and to challenge myself. Right? Learn something new. Right. So, all right. So please keep those answers coming in. So I'm gonna pass this over first to Crystal just to introduce the mission and vision and the quick FAQs and the no code page community. So Crystal, are you there?
Oh. Yes, I'm here. Sorry. I'm just getting my slides ready.
Sorry. Okay, sorry.
Sorry. Hold on. Maybe we can skip first to the next part.
Okay. Right. Yeah, sure thing. All right. So, one of the biggest reasons, just to share, one of the biggest reasons why I joined this kind of events is freebies. Of course, who doesn't want freebies? So, right at the end of this workshop, we will give away 3 no-code PH shirt of your size, but you have to listen to the workshop. The questions we're gonna have towards the end will be based on what we've talked about during the workshop. So listen carefully if you want to get those sweet merch. All right. Crystal, you ready?
Yes. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, let me just share my screen. Okay, so hi, thank you everyone for coming here. I'm Crystal and I'm from No Code PH. So just wanted to introduce the org just so in case I know we have a few new members who are not necessarily acquainted yet or oriented yet with No Code PH. So what's the problem that No Code PH is trying to solve? So technology depends on code, but only 0.3% of the world's entire population code. So we believe there is a limit to progress and innovation in the use of technology. And how do we solve that? We solve that by educating Filipinos, making no-code and low-code adoption more prevalent in the Philippines. And we want to educate people about the importance and value of no-code. We also want to equip Filipinos. So in workshops like this one, we'll teach you no-code and low-code skills and how to use them to your advantage. And of course, we want to enable Filipinos and support them in their no-code and low-code efforts and endeavors. So No Code PH is a duly registered non-stock nonprofit corporation, and we are community driven. We all come from different backgrounds, technical, non-technical, but we all share the common passion for no code and low code. So our mission essentially is to empower Filipinos to become citizen developers. We aim to educate and inspire a nationwide community of learners, professionals, and entrepreneurs that embraces creativity, innovation, and service. So what are citizen developers? Citizen developers are essentially developers who don't necessarily have the technical background, but are able to develop apps, websites, automations, and all kinds of technology. And so our target is learners, professionals, and entrepreneurs. And our vision is for every Filipino to have the opportunity to thrive in a rapidly changing digital environment through the use of no-code platforms and technologies. So our values are integrity. We do what we say we do. Inclusiveness, of course, because we want to include everyone. Innovation, obviously, because we want to spur innovation in the country, and impact. So this is not updated, but we already have 1,200 members, and we've had two challenges. Again, not updated because this is the third challenge. We've had 8 workshops. We've had 16 no-code projects made by challenge participants. We've been in Philippine Startup Week, and we've had 1% in Fed. So I'm inviting you to be part of the movement. Join No Code PH. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for that, Crystal. Again, if you want to join No Code PH, we have a Facebook group, a website, Instagram, Twitter. I forgot the other social media sites we are on, but yeah, we have lots of social media presence, I would say. So, right, where were we? Okay, so giveaways, merch later. If you want to get those shirts, you have to finish the workshop and listen very carefully. So before we start, we're gonna have some general ground rules. So this should be very straightforward. Of course, we want to be kind and respectful to everyone, especially here in No Code PH. There's a diverse audience, right? So from non-tech, from the business, so also like different experience levels. So we have to be respectful on that front also. And then, of course, if you do have questions or clarifications, we are very happy in answering them like throughout the session. So please don't hesitate in asking those questions, or if you have comments on whatever we're doing at the moment, please let us know. And of course, and lastly, have fun. So this is one of the, I would say, biggest factor in doing any kind of work is to have fun. So I hope you guys will have fun later in the workshop. I'm sure you will. Our speaker and facilitator for the workshop, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm gonna introduce him later. But all right, so this slide would be the official opening of the No Code PH challenge number 3 by Softr. Right. So just a quick overview. So again, just what Crystal mentioned earlier, we want to bring in the community together, and not just for the tools, but I would say for the knowing the no code practice and building that support system behind the community. So, and again, our partner for this challenge is Softr, which is one of the more I would say popular tool of choice in terms of no code. So if you're gonna post any uh, pics in social media, please use no code ph x Softr. So throughout the challenge, we are gonna appreciate anything that when you use that hashtag. All right. So who should join? Basically, anyone. Anyone can join the No Code PH challenge. That is the point of the community, anyways. So regardless if you're a seasoned no code, a traditional developer, or maybe someone just interested in what to know what no code is. So of course, the challenge would require us to build a product. So we are here to broaden up and help you in realizing that product. And you must be also living here or residing here in the Philippines. So that's why we have our community title called No OPH. So, right. Right. Before I go to the prizes, do you have any questions on the first few slides? All right. Going once. All right. So, right. Again, what motivates me into these kinds of events are the prizes. So, apart from the merch that you'll get in at the end of the workshop, if you can answer the question, is if you win this challenge, you will have a free software subscription for a year. That's yeah, fully paid. Then first runner up would be 50% off for 6 months, and the second runner up would be a software swag kit. So before I go further, I think okay, we didn't have this in the first two slides. Crystal, in terms of do we need, like, can we cater a team, can we cater just one person in the challenge, or what's our rules on that one?
You can join as a team, but the only person who's registered can claim the prize because only one account can claim the prize. Yeah.
Right. All right. Gotcha. So if you have any friends that are interested into helping you out building your product, that's all right. But then again, for the prizes, since we're giving out a subscription, so that would only be for one user. All right. And then, all right, moving on. We will have our group mentoring calls from April 24th to 27th. That be for the whole week next week until Thursday. So this one will be optional. So the mentors and some of the organizers in No Code TH will be there helping you out in your product or any tool related question. And lastly, we're gonna have the demo day on, oh wait, this is deadline, sorry. This is the deadline. So the deadline for the projects for the product or the project submission would be on April 28th. That is 1 week from now. And oh, and then we're gonna have an announcement in Discord channel. So I'm just gonna quickly get the Discord link. Oh wait, give me a second. Discord link. Here's a second, just to make sure that we're all there before we start. Oh wait, I can't create the link. Okay, we're gonna send the Discord invite later. Okay, I thought I can generate the link. Wait, I think just a second. Okay, here we go. So, right. Please join the Discord community right now. I would suggest doing it right now so you won't forget. And of course, lastly, the demo day would be on April 29th, 8 p.m. on Zoom. That's a Saturday. All right. So, okay, we have a couple of slides more. So, some of the rules, projects must be new builds. So we want the playing field to be fair. So you can't submit something that you're already working on. So this should be a from scratch build. So again, and then second one, same thing. We have to make sure we're not catering to plagiarism. There might be some questions about this, but make sure you ask us here if you or we're gonna provide some emails or probably in the Discord channel. You can ask us there, and then you can only submit one project. As much as we want to cater, if you have multiple ideas, if you can like do it in 1 week, that's awesome. But again, in the spirit of fairness, we want to have only one project or product per person or per team. Right? Any questions? Right. So, moving on to judging criteria. So, this would be very just a quick tip for me who from me who attended some events like this. So, problem solving. This is a very big part of it. So please be mindful of the problem that you're solving. So I know how cool the tools are and the technologies are, but if your product or your application doesn't solve any meaningful problem, that's not good enough. And then next one would be ingenuity. Is the project all right? So this is more. Is it unique or is it something that would let people think that why didn't think of that before? So that's how I would describe ingenuity. And then lastly, execution and design. So this is more on the technical stuff. So I would frame it as is your product solving the problem right? So the first one is making sure that you're solving the right thing, the right problem. And the last one would be, are you solving that problem the right way? So not sure if people got confused with that, but okay. Please let us know if you have questions in the chat. All right. So I think second to the last one, do I own the IP of my project? IP meaning intellectual property. So yes, no PH doesn't retain or claim ownership of the ideas. So it is up to the it is up to the participants though if they want to probably give it away or I'm not sure what you can call it. And then, oh yeah, this one. Can I build a project with a team? But again, we answered that question. Yes, you can build a project with the team. But then again, the winner, since this is the prizes are subscriptions for one user. So yeah, there's that. And lastly, right. Crystal, I'm not sure about this one. So are we calling out some of the participants?
Yes, they agreed to introduce themselves.
Oh, wait. Oh, before that, Maureen has a question. Should the project be for the general public? It's up to you. So I'm just gonna go back here. Regardless if it's for a private entity or it's for public consumption or usage, it's totally up to you. So the judging criteria is pretty flexible on that one. So do you have any more questions, Maureen? Did I answer your question? Okay. All right. All right. So we're gonna meet some of the participants. Not sure though if they're here. So I'm gonna call on Andrew. So Andrew, if you're here, you can open your camera and then unmute yourself and introduce yourself, and then probably just a quick story background. Why are you here?
Hi, is my mic heard?
Yep, we can hear you. Fine, Andrew.
Hello, I'm Andrew. I'm a third year student currently, and the reason why I joined No Code was I kind of got interested on how fast you can build solutions on it. So I guess by applying but by I guess joining this competition, I guess I can really learn a lot on how No Code really is being built. So it'll be a great experience for me to do some no code work. So yeah.
All right. So thanks for that, Andrew. So I have a feeling that we have lots of students here, and I'm feeling really old right now but because of that. So next one would be Rosseth. Did I get that right?
Yes. Hello, good evening. I'm Raset from second year student from Pangasinan State University. And the reason that I participated in this event is because I want to gain experience in no code, since it's like the future or something. It's the evolution of coding, and I want to have first experience this.
Nice. Another student. Right. Then all right. So Joey, I think you're here. I saw your name.
Hi, hello. Good evening. So I joined the No Code PH because technically I don't have any experience regarding the no code. Well, however, I just want to check this no code PH. How can it help me in my career as a software developer? I haven't tried yet the software as SOFTR. I don't know how to pronounce it yet. I'm so sorry. However, I don't have any experience using that application so far, but I'm hoping I can learn it through joining this workshop. That's all. Thank you.
All right. And lastly would be Floridane. Not sure if I didn't butcher her name.
I don't think she's available. Sorry. So maybe we can ask for volunteers.
Okay, yeah, we can ask probably one or two more.
Any volunteers?
Oh wait. We have. Oh wait. Okay, we have Jaya and Arjanel. So yeah, I think Jaya raised her hand first. So yeah, did I pronounce your name right? Jaya.
Hello, yes, you
Yeah.
pronounced it correctly. Hi, I'm Jaya Angel Delgado. I'm from Ateneo de Manila, and I'm interested in startups. So I think this opportunity would really help, like in my future digital products. So yeah, thank you.
So yeah.
All right, thanks, Jaya. So we're gonna have Arjanel next.
Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Am I loud and clear?
Yep.
Hi, I'm Arjun LD, and currently I'm a junior Python developer who makes a desktop native apps using Python and some of some of microservices like automating sending emails or in processing large data sets. But I'm not a developer, so this no code by using software makes me curious about it and want to explore it. Thank you.
All right. So I'm just gonna give another chance to one more person who wants to uh share a story and why they're here. Going once, going twice. All right, moving on. So, right. I'm gonna quickly introduce you to our facilitator and speaker for today. So, Carlos is one of the, I would say, leading. I would just call it prolific no coder. I'm not sure. And he is a software expert. So as a no coder, he prefers in using software as a tool. And interestingly, Carlos has a background in product. So and then he is a no coder by night. So that's kind of cool way, like some kind of Batman no coder. And I would probably let Carlos introduce himself because I'm gonna probably butcher a lot of this names in the introduction. So Carlos, I'm gonna pass it over to you, and if you can let people know your background and story.
Yeah, so I've got a couple of slides on that on my deck. I'm not sure if we are happy to jump into the action part of it. Yeah. All right, let's do that. I'm gonna share my screen then. Which one? This one here. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
No. Yes.
All
right.
Can you see it? I'm getting no, I'm getting yes.
Oh wait, we're looking at your Twitter.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
So where is one second. Oh, here it is. All right, let me this toolbar out of the way. Okay, hi everybody. So let's start from the beginning. This is what we're going to try to see today. I didn't know much about your background, so I didn't know how much in detail I should go, but we'll do this together, and the idea is to learn together. So it's going to be fun. Just bear with me. First of all, hello, hi everybody. Now is the time where I invite everyone one by one to introduce themselves. And no, I'm just messing. I'm not doing that. I'm pretty sure you're going to do that a lot during this workshop. But a bit about me. So I started my career as a developer for many years. I did computer science at the University of London. I'm Spanish though. I live in Lisbon right now. But I worked at a company called Shiro for 6 years in New Zealand, doing product. Before that, I did a lot of consultancy work on IT and big SAP implementations in Brazil, in Switzerland, in the UK. And, I used to run a lot. That in the middle, I'm from the northern western area of Spain, and that's how we dress on Sundays. And I also founded my own startup. We closed around, we kept it running for a couple of years, and then we exited. And that's basically me talking to the users. It's always a risk. But however, the cool thing about all this background, and right now I'm working for a startup from Spain. It's an AI product that tells big retailers where to place the product, in what quantity and when, so they maximize the probability of selling that product. It's all based on data science models. And I'm the VP of product there. I spent much of my career on product. But the cool thing about that is that it doesn't matter, this is different. We are all here to learn. Nobody cares about our background. We are starting from scratch, right? This is the cool thing about no code. The best part is that it's about you and your ideas, and it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter your skills. What it matters is that it sort of unlocks a wall of possibilities for you to pursue your own passions and make a positive impact on your communities or on your company or for yourself, right? That's the whole point. It's about freedom and the ability to build something. So one of the key things to be successful in no code is don't care too much, right? Don't be too hard on yourself. Build something.
What the fuck is a Mandalorian?
The Mandalorian is a Star Wars character. Sorry, they're pretty famous because they keep saying this is the way. They've got a very harsh sort of a way of set of principles that they never walk away from them. One of those principles is never to remove their helmet. And and they keep saying this is the way. That's why I'm putting it there, nothing else. But yeah, this is, we are all here on this together. That's what I'm trying to say. And we're starting all from scratch. It doesn't matter your background. We are here to learn and to produce something that's got some value, that is going to help someone in some way. And the whole process is quite amazing. Being able to do that is quite amazing. It's something that, a couple of years back was really hard. What else? So, as a no-coder, I fail a lot. I've got, tons of products, tons of domains. I've built some things that work sort of fine, some things that I made just for fun. There is, directories of memes in Spanish, a website for upload courses with lessons and stuff. Well, a few things I'm happy to share later on with you. But the idea is, keep building things for the fun of it. Because you will get better. You will get better ideas when you start understanding the reality of, what these tools enable you to build. And just a bit more about myself. That's where to find me. Mostly, I try to answer all the emails as they come, and obviously, I'm in Twitter. This SuperAppimin handle is not my personal handle. Actually, SuperAppimin was one of those failed projects that I started. I did that one in Babel. So many of the projects that you see here, some of them are Softr, some of them are Babel, some of them are Webflow, some of them are WeWeb. So you know, I've been playing for a while with a non-code tools because they're fun. So I wanted to start with reviewing some of the basics, because I'm assuming that many of us are not technical in this forum, and please stop me anytime, and we could have you know, we've got 2 hours, we've got plenty of time for this. So yeah, let's look a bit on, you know, what's the architecture behind a website, a web app, a web application that allows you to do something. So basically, those are the main 3 layers. And this is important because based on this schema, we are going to understand what no-code tools we need to use to be able to build something, right? So here is our user, and basically what you see in the screen within the browser is the presentation layer, right? That's, you know, that's the interface, the buttons, the list, the signing, all these things. When you press a button, you normally send a request to a server where some sort of logic runs there. It might be as easy as, you know, inserting something on the data layer, or updating something, or reading something so it can be shown in the presentation layer, or it could be quite complex, calling these microservices that I think Joy was talking about, he built in Python, or trying to work out trends within an email, or I was right before Elon changed the pricing of the API. I don't know if you heard about that. I was working on a Twitter app with a different stack. It wasn't Softr, it was WeWeb, and it was in Airtable. It was Shannon. And what I was trying to do was to work out what were the best accounts or the most popular accounts to follow based on your interests. So there were a lot of logic to be programmed there, to work out there. So that's the logic. And then you've got the data, and the data is basically, you know, think of data about a bit on terms of entities and attributes of these entities, or an entity, think about a folder where you keep a certain type of something, of, I don't know, electricity bills, right? So you've got this folder, you keep there all your electricity bills, and each bill is got a set of attributes. And those are basically, you know, the rows of the columns of the tables within the database. If you don't understand anything, just stop me, because I'm not sure if I'm being too clear here. But if we keep going, how this works with this stack, you know, and you need to be conscious of that, Softr solves just or mostly the presentation layer. If you use only Softr, you are not able to build anything, because it will be you know, empty, a shallow framework with nothing behind. So you need data, because Softr, what it's going to do is going to ask for data and then show that data in a very cool way. So for that, when you are working with Softr, you will normally use Airtable, which is very powerful. It's like a, you know, a spreadsheet on steroids. In fact, we use it as a database because it's really powerful, or spreadsheets, Google Sheets, sorry, and that's been released this week, actually. That's one of the things with Softr. The team keeps releasing a very speedy cadence. So even if you are, you know, blocked because you are missing something, it will probably be there in a couple of weeks if it's something quite obvious. So then what I'm trying to say here is that you want to build something with Softr, you are going to need Airtable or Google Sheets. And if that something is a bit complex, where you need to think a bit about the logic, you need to do any sort of calculations, you need to call external APIs to get data from different services, you are going to use something in the middle. This is the logo of Make, is one of those things. It could be Zapier, there is tons of it, but I guess make.com is probably the most friendly and cheap of them all, and is the one I tend to use. One, especially when you're starting working on no code, I guess the best advice I can give you, apart from giving you the tools to do things, is keep things super simple. Don't complicate yourself. Don't get yourselves into trouble. And I will show you some examples where I keep getting myself into trouble. But basically, if you keep your logic at what is called crude level, and by crude, basically we mean create, read, update, and delete. So that's the logic you apply to your data. You're not going to need a logic layer. Now in Softr we've got what is called action buttons. That it might seem quite obvious now. You've got a button where you're able to update a field back in the database. But a month ago, actions buttons were not there. So you needed to use make and create a webhook and do different stuff. So now you've got actions buttons, and you've got also automations within Airtable to run some logic in your data. So basically, you should be able to solve 90% of your ideas with these two pieces of software. And keep it simple. Every time you need to add something, just ask yourself, do I really need this? Is this going to make a big difference in the value I'm delivering to my users or in the experience? But yeah, that's something you learn with no code, because no code in many ways is very constrained on the things you can do. So you keep, you keep taking these compromises, and you start with this long list of things that you want to do, and you start, cleaning out things that you don't really need. So it helps you, it educates you to think linear about the features you want to build. How are we doing so far? Is everyone with me? I don't see faces. That's a bit weird, but I'm assuming you are. I see some fingers there. Thumbs up. Cool. Thank you. So, I was talking about Softr. I'm gonna give you my view on Softr, because you've got, when we talk here, we've got apps like no-code apps. I'm talking like Babel, that cover the whole thing. Babel is in itself a database, a logic layer, and a presentation layer. Is kind of a monolith in that sense. It's not internally, but for yourself as a no-coder, it's like a monolith. You've got everything there. You learn one thing, and you could build anything within there. But then it's really complex. It's almost like programming. You need to learn to visually programming. You need to go through the same thinking a developer will go. And it can be quite scary and overwhelming. So what I like about Softr is speed. It's not that you can build something really, really valuable super fast. Whenever you hear someone, I build this in 3 hours, it's probably, it's probably not very helpful. But it's super easy and it's very fast for you to start seeing something that works. So it's a big motivational push, because you start seeing things, and then you start seeing how your project is evolving. It keeps evolving, and you can change things and test it straight away, and it's really easy to use. It's very intuitive, as we'll see now, and that makes it fun. It's actually, of all the tools I use, and I always go back to Softr, is because it's just, you know, easy and fun, and my life is already too complicated. The other thing I love about Softr, that not many do this, is that you sort of feel the ownership of your work from the beginning. It's like, you know, it allows you on the free tier, it allows you to use your own domain. So when you start working and you publish your first version, that you can do that straight away, practically, it's already under your domain. It's like, oh, this is mine, right? You can add your own styling, pretty basic, but that's better for us. We don't want to get complicated. You can add your logo, you can add your favicon, you can make your project yours as soon as you start, right from the start, all for free. And if you need to build more complex stuff, you can try the paid plans that offer more complex blocks and things that you will probably not need anyway. But they offer you 30 days trials for free, and 30 days is enough, or it should be enough, to actually test, you know, this is it worth to pay this money? And the plans might sound expensive, but they're not. When you compare all this, like with the time you need to spend on doing something yourself, if you build something valuable that you can monetize, you know, monetize it well, so it covers all this cost. Also, what I like is that, and that's about simplicity as well, is block-based. When I first started with Softr, I hated that, because it was kind, you know, we'll see now, but you drag and drop one block. And I wanted to do it all my own way. I wanted to have the labels with these conditions, with these styles. You know, I wanted to overcomplicate things. And that's because when you come to know code, having a background, a technical background as a developer, plays against you. It's actually way easier to get it when you come from any profession in life that has nothing to do with technology. Because as people that develop, we tend to, you know, spend a lot of time getting the right code, and this is a whole different mindset. So one of the things now that I've got some experience I love about Softr is that you've got these blocks that they're already, you know, they already have implicit natively the best design practices. So you don't need to waste time on how this is going to look. You just need to change colors or fonts if you like, but even so, the colors and the fonts that come with are pretty okay. And it's responsive out of the box. So just for that, it's going to save you weeks of work. I build things in Webflow, and you know, you build the desktop version of it, and then you move to the tablet version of thing, and you need to start playing with breakpoints, and then the same for mobile, and you need to start. The experience is quite easy, but it takes ages to do all that, and takes a lot of thinking. Here, you just drag and drop. It's actually, you know, almost magical. And finally, it's got an awesome community. There is a forum that is really active, Twitter account. There is a Slack workspace. I'm not sure if it's open anymore. And, you know, there is no much egos going there. Everyone is quite humble, and we are all independently of our day work. we are all there, like we are all new to this. We are all there to learn and to help each other. And you might jump into blockers that you think, oh man, this is probably so basic. I'm not going to ask for help for this because I feel embarrassed. Honestly, we all been there, and I spent most of my professional life in technology, and you know, and some things that look super basic, they're not. You need to put the work and ask for help, because we talk about, you know, the autonomy and how no code empowers you to create great things, but the dark side of no code is kind of very solitary. You're actually taking steps in the right path when you are already part of this community. So you've got people to push you, to help you, but use the community a lot, because every time you ask something or you share a problem, there are probably another 50 people going through the same thing that don't feel safe enough to ask and ask for help and ask that question. All right, how are we doing so far? Let me see what else. I'm gonna drink a bit of water, sorry. So what I did was, and I show you now what I did. I got up earlier this morning to create a project in Softr and Airtable, and trying to rebuild it with you or going through it with you. So, but basically this journey that I put here is the journey I normally do myself with my projects. I'm not saying that is the best one, but after doing many projects, is the linear to me, the one that works best. So feel free to follow it, and otherwise, you know, do it your own way. So this is what we're going to go through now, step by step. And I'm putting here a list of resources for you of the little tools that I use continuously, because one of the things that they don't tell you is, you know, creating a no-code application, unless it's an internal application for your company, and my wife just has done one for her company with Softr. If you are creating a project for external users, it's way more than a project. You are creating a business. So there is a lot to do when it comes to build. I'm not talking about all the legal stuff, but just, you know, things that you don't account for that you need to think on. And the size system, what colors are going to use, what typography, what logo, do I need a logo? All these things, well, I go through that all the time, not to even, I don't want even to get started with domains, because that's crazy. But anyway, let me just look at you 1 second to see how you guys doing. Anything on the chat? Okay, fine, sir. Cool. Let's keep going, and please stop me, because otherwise I get bored of talking all the time. And this is a sort of quite a long workshop. So I'm going to close the presentation now. And here's the score. Close the. This is one of my projects, but I'm going to show you the one I built today, and then we go through it together. So what I built this morning is basically a directory of prompts. I wanted to make it trendy for you, maybe to get more excited about it. I don't know if it's the best idea, because prompts as objects on themselves are quite ugly because they're just text. I probably could have gone for something else, but anyway. So I've got here, this is the landing page. What are sections there? I kill them anyway. And basically what it does, it's not finished. We might be able to finish it together now, but basically I wanted to allow users to vote for prompts and then have a view of the most popular prompts decided by the community, users to discover prompts, a community, which is basically the Twitter profile of Prompt It Up, and a newsletter that is not linked because it doesn't exist yet. Where it does exist is the functionality to sign up with a email or Google, and we'll see a bit of that. I'm not going to go through Google because there is a lot of setup on your part. Or if you want me to, I can go through that. I don't really care. If it's helpful, let's do it. And then what you've got here, is a list of prompts based on different categories by function, based on the different models. Most of them are GPT because that's what I found around, but there are some specific for Bing Chat. There is some of them are specific for Midjourney, that kind of thing. The problem why I choose this is because I do have a few sources around prompts, and I wanted to put them all together in one place. It's almost, I did that for myself. So, you've got different categories, you can filter by category, you can search by platform, because some of them are specific for different platforms. Let me see if there is, maybe it's not set anyway. I know what's happening. So this is for social media. This is about Twitter and all these things. I use a lot ChatGPT nowadays. It's kind of, when I'm with my no-code projects, it helps me a lot to articulate the problem that I'm trying to solve. It's almost like talking to a rubber duck. And, and this chat listens to me and comes back with ideas, and just myself doing the effort of having to explain this to something, a bot in this case, helps me a lot. And then, I put here, try it. And basically, I've got some more information in the a detailed page. You see here a record ID. This comes from Airtable. We'll see now how that's done. And well, I'll mention here the model, the number of words, because that's important if you pay for the API calls for these models, and the source, very important, because obviously those prompts are not mine. It's nice to drive traffic to these people that took the time to document all these things. So that's a bit idea. Okay, let's start my journey from the beginning, and then after we do a bit of this, just because this is going to be, it's too. Oh, well, we are a bit tight of time. I thought I had more time. So it's how are you around? Crystal?
Sorry.
No. Yeah. So how long do we have? When am I sure does the people need to leave? Basically, that's the question.
No, they can stay until whenever they can leave whenever. Yeah.
Okay, because yeah.
It's scheduled until 10 p.m. So we have 1 more hour.
Okay, it's a bit tight. All right, let's try to do this. Let me. Okay. So how do I start every single project? And this is important, especially, it might not be important for this challenge, but I normally start thinking of I've got an idea and I start thinking of a domain and I try to get a domain. This is important because you keep things tidy, right? Once you've got your domain, you can set your domain to work with Gmail. And then once you've got a Gmail address with your new domain, you can start signing up for those tools with the email address of the domain of your project and keep things tidy and don't mix too many projects together. Why this is important? Because, you know, tomorrow you might want to sell the project, even if it's for a few $100s, or you want to grow the project, right? But that's something you could do later on. But just as an example, if I come here, you know, I've got tons of different projects going on here, the state of no code, which no code tools, SuperAppimin, and there is a few more, right? I actually, if you don't know how to do that, the best way to do it, you buy I created a blog post on that. I pass you the link, but basically you buy a domain within Cloudflare, because it's the cheapest one. They don't do business selling domains. They just charge you the cost of the domain, the original cost of the domain. There is no markup in there. And then you need to configure, you need to redirect that domain to an email address, and then within the email client, in this case Google, you need to do some configuration to be able to send emails from that address. I'll pass you the link. I think I put the link here somewhere. Yeah, it's in Indie Hackers. So you've got it there. It's quite handy because then you don't need to start buying Google domains just to have the email and the domain. As you see, we try to keep it lean until we are sure that this works and we can monetize it. So basically, you see, I've got here tons of different domains because I've got tons of different projects. So let's pump it up. And the first thing, we are going to start looking at the data model. So Soft doesn't work if you don't have a data model. You cannot even start working with software. You need to have your data ready to connect. But I come to Softr because it's a good practice. When you think about your data, it's a good practice to think from the point of view of the experience. So there is a cool thing, and is that once you land here, so you need to sign up. Have you all guys signed up into Softr? I hope you have, but if not, do it. Actually, well, it doesn't really matter. So once you are here, you create a project. Let me see if I can go back. But the cool thing I want to show you here is this templates, because those templates give you, and the software is really good for this because normally many no-code apps don't have as many templates and different use cases as software. So it gives you a good feel of what can you build, right? So, you know, you've got client portals, you've got internal tools, you've got marketplaces. And if I want to see this marketplace, let's say that Prompt It Up is a marketplace of prompts, which is not, it's more of a directory, but it's kind of similar. You see a bit, so we've got a landing page, that's cool, that's static, that's fine. And here we start seeing some, some data, some objects. You need to think about this. Okay, where I'm seeing here. This is about co-living, so I'm seeing here, well, people that want to share a place to live, right? There's property rental home. So these are people, they've got different categories, they've got a location, they have a name. So all these things are going to become your tables in your table. This one, I'm going to try to see if there is another one that you can see clear. For instance, this one, TeamWiki. I can see this properly, but I see that we've got sections. So sections might be a table with properties. Here we see that we've got people, right? And these people, they've got a picture, they've got a title, they're based on an office. So I'm already seeing that I'm going to need a table named user that is going to have the name of the user, is going to have the position of the user, is going to have their function or department, if they're product management, their chief C-levels, their marketing, and they're going to have the location of the office. And so you need to come here and see what's the experience, what's the data you are going to show your users, to start thinking on how you're going to model this back in your table. So you've got resources for your team. The resources, they've got a picture, they've got different categories here, which are, again, the departments, what's new, all these things. So come here to get a feeling of what you need to build. And that is going to help you to define the tables in Airtable. So now let's jump into Airtable straight away, because we need that. So you see, here I'm not doing things right. I'm using the same user, which is my default user for no-code projects, for 3 different projects, right? Which is, it's not great. Because if I want to sell one of these projects or grow it and create a team, I need to move it away manually. So this is the, maybe I should create one from the start just for you to see. Have you guys worked with Airtable at all? I'm assuming that you haven't. I'm gonna just look into the chat 1 second. I can't see anything. Anyway, I'm assuming that you haven't, but so basically what you do, and Airtable is key and it's very powerful. So you need to spend some time trying to understand Airtable. That's probably one of the most critical tools for you. And I'm gonna create a base. So a base for a base for I'm gonna create a new workspace. Softr no code PH. Create a base here. And basically, what Airtable gives you, your thing, it's a grid, it's a table. These are the names of the table. And normally, what you need to do is to keep it as simple as possible. For these projects within this challenge, you shouldn't have more than 3 tables, because otherwise you will be getting yourself into trouble. And those of you with a technical experience, you are going to get yourselves into trouble. But basically, you need a main table with your main object or main entity, main thing that your project is about. And that's a list. And then you need a second table with the detail, with more detail on those things, even though both tables could be just one, a massive table. And then if you need users, you need a third table for users. It's a classic one. If I need, those are my users, I need a name. And in this case, the name or our table is the primary key. By what I mean is the field Airtable is going to use to identify its user and all its properties. And description. You've got tons of different sort of fields here.
Isa yung nagbabantay kay Uncle.
Sorry?
Yung po naman si Lola Daisy po.
They're not talking to us, right? So the idea here is you've got different types of fields that have to do with the data you want to save, to keep in the database. And I guess just to comment some of them that are not the most obvious one, if you need to have an image in Airtable, you want to use the attachment field. There is not an image field, right? If you want to relate 2 tables together, and let me just open a base here. This is probably, let's go. No, sorry. This is which no-code tool. And we've got here products built by the community. We've got a name. We've got the view. We've got a status, and I talked about this because this is quite important. We've got a tagline, how they sell their products. We've got their URL to the website. We get the Twitter handle for the user, and then we start building things, because one of the things that you can do in Airtable is to create, well, there is a field called formula where allows you to work with any kind of data. And that's also here in resources. Away. That's a tab you want to have always open when working with Airtable. Here you've got a table with all the formulas you can use, and you've got formulas to work with a text. You've got formulas to work with numbers. We've got logical operators to compare things, and I'll show you some of the uses right now. You've got plenty of things here, and they look scary, but you need to start using them. If you haven't used them in Excel already, because they're, you'll get there. You'll get there. Please stop me if you don't understand something. What I wanted to show you here, description. This is multi-select.
Hi, Carlos.
Yes.
Could you please stop for a moment? There's someone on the participants that Their mic is open and we can hear them. Miguel, could you please mute, please? Thank you.
Okay. Are we good? Okay. All right, so I'm going to show you the website so we understand the relationship between the directory, and this is a directory of no-code products. The idea with the directory is that, you know, one of the hardest questions you will always ask yourself when you're, as a no-coder, when you're going to start a new project is, which no-code tools should I use? Because there is a lot of offer. And for most of them, I will say Softr and Airtable, because they're the most intuitive ones. And you can build quite powerful sites with them. So basically, we've got a list of the products done by the community. I'm seeing here already a bug. You see, I'm duplicating this ad anyway. And you've got the name of the product, you've got the tagline, you've got the builder or the maker, and you've got the tools. So, and a category. Those fields here, those values here, those attributes, the image, the categories, the name, the tagline or description are part of the same table, right? They're all in this table, in the main table. So you've got the description, the name, the tagline, the URL, the handle of the project, if there is a handle, the profile. But then these tools here are not part of it. It's a different table. Okay? And that table, which is here, I've got a table for the tools that are used in different products, is connected to this product through, let me see, through a link to another table. So you can create in every Airtable table, you can create a column that is a link to another table. That's the way you link tables, right? But anyway, and I guess the best way for you to do this is to start working on it. And what you need to do at this point is to decide what's your main object, what is your main collection of objects, and create a table just for that and put everything together at the beginning. Because once you've got that, and I'm going to jump straight into this project, if you don't mind me, because I don't think we've got time to build something together. No, there was something I wanted to show you there that's quite key. But anyway, let's have a look at this one. So here, why it's important to start with the database first? Because if I want to create a new application, and this is interesting for you, if you want to create a new application, you can start with a blank application, but it is, you know, there is a high probability that these templates already cover most of what you need. So my advice to you is to create a few applications based on these templates and play with them to see if that's what you need. But let's do one from scratch. So what Softr is going to do from the beginning, when you create a new application, is to connect it to a data source. Because otherwise, there is nothing it can show. You can't work with it, right? That's why it's important starting by the database. And then what it's going to ask you is to produce your API key for Airtable. Why? Because I have chosen Airtable, right? So in Airtable, where is my, you need to go, well, I mean, to your account, if you notice there, Soft is explaining you how to get the API key, right? So basically you go there, you go to your account. Well, it doesn't really matter. And here somewhere you get your data. Free plan. Actually, I might just look into what Soft is telling me to do. Account. Ah. Look at this. Is that? So here it is. Just follow the steps on, and it gives you a key. This key is you need to, the good practice here is to keep it secret, because it gives access to your database. If you only have a directory of wherever, it's probably not a problem, but if you are keeping users' data, it might have legal implications if you lose that data. So basically, I'm going to change that later, and you will need to add it here. I'm going to do that. Sorry to be jumping in and out. So for instance, here, account, go to the developer hub. So, I mean, the developer hub, it was under here somewhere. You need to have it activated. And it gives you an API key. And the API key is the one you need to connect to Soft. And then once you connect it, it allows you then to create an application. So I'm not going to connect this one because it doesn't have any data. I'm going to connect a project that's got data, basically. So we can do something with it. Let's go back to this one. Developer hub, API key. Copy this one. I jump into soft. I don't like this one, sorry. SuperAppimin. Yeah, I'm going to create one from scratch. Blank application, Airtable. Next. And did I get the right API key? Yeah, okay. So this should be the API for prompt it up. Okay, all good. We've got it. We're not close tabs, so I don't make a mess. Right. So now, even if it's a blank application, what Softr is going to do is going to offer you the chance to create the skeleton of the website. And it's going to give you the basics of a standard Softr application. You get the landing page, you get a directory, a list of things. For each thing, you can click and you go to the details, and then somewhere you might have a button to add a new thing, and that's a form that updates and creates a new thing in the database in Airtable. In parallel, if you are going to use users, Softr already gives you all the views you need to manage the login, sign up, sign in, and forgot password views, which is quite handy. I will always say yes to this because you can always delete them later. So if you come here, and we haven't done anything yet, right? We just created a project, but we can already publish it. And it gives you some sort of URL for your project, auto-generated. Let's call it, you can modify this and call it whatever, no code, PH workshop. Publish that. Hey, confetti, you see what I mean? We're already winning. We just started and we're already winning. And go there. So that's what I mean. As soon they don't do anything, but you start seeing something already, and actually it's giving you hints of, how do you need to fill this template out. Okay, let's start working. I'm gonna grab the data from the actual prompt it up, and let's start with the homepage. If you see those here, well, basically, if you've never seen this before, you've got here a set of, in the left-hand side menu, you've got the pages. Those are the pages we just created. We've got selected home, so we are going to work on home. For each page, you can duplicate it. You can see settings, delete it, and we look at the settings now. You've got the theme, and that's what I told you before. You can apply your own, make the project yours, right? And I normally do that. I use a few tools that I put here. Now, I use different tools to generate, a logo and some styles. I advise you to use this one. It's free, and it gives you things like this, right? I created this logo there. I created the favicon as well, and based on those colors, I apply those colors to the theme. So let's review this. In general, here is where you upload your favicon. If you go, let's call this something else. No code PH workshop. This is the subdomain that is generating for you to test, and there is nothing else here. Then, if you already bought a domain, you can add it here. You need to add some DNS records on your domain provider. It's pretty easy, it's pretty straightforward. It tells you how to do it here, and just follow the steps. And then it's basically your project already. There is here is the data sources. We already got Airtable connected, but you can connect more. You can connect a Google Sheet as well. What else? Some integrations that you normally add here once you've got everything set is obviously a link for Google Analytics, so you understand if your project is being used and how much. If you are going to use Google Signing, you need to set up a project on Google Cloud. The links are here. That's a bit time-consuming, and it takes a bit of reading, but those are a bit the main ones. And obviously, if you want to charge for something, you need to add your Stripe API key here as well. And OpenAI, if you want to use the OpenAI blocks, I show you some right now. So basically, these blocks here are when you add a new block, you've got two types of blocks, dynamic and static. Static, those here are mostly static, basically means that you write, what you see is what you get. You write here what you want to show in the page. So for instance, here, 10x your productivity with a validated AI prompts. Something else. And it shows here, why we call it static? Because this stays static always, it doesn't change, right? I wrote it down here, it doesn't change. On the contrary, as opposed to dynamic, that this brings the data from the database. So if you change the data in the database, it's going to change. And you've got a bit of everything. You've got everything you need in a landing in the static section of blocks. You've got the hero section. You've got features, feature grid, and all this. It's already a style for you. It's already responsive with the menus and everything. I mean, you're saving here tons of time. You can let's go into one. So these are the features. You've got an image. Obviously, you can change it. These little switches here that are hard to see is basically styles. So you can do it more rounded, or you can do it smaller. But as you see, it's almost like a game. It's everything really easy. there is a button here. So this is the button. Okay. Go to a button. Oh no. Do something interesting. You add an action to it, and the action could be open a page or scroll down to a section or open an external URL, open a modal. Let's open, I don't know, this one. Open in a new tab. So you just need to go, because it's really, at least I feel that is, and it works. And you know, we've been here a couple of minutes and we're already making things happen, right? Now let's go to something more interesting. Any doubts about this? There is a few best practices that I need to tell you here. Basically, every section comes with a default generated name. You should name them and try to follow some sort of naming convention. So you always names these components the same way. Why? Because, for instance, in this button, I don't know if you notice, the action could be, you know, you could have a different action here. You could scroll to a section, and then you need to name the section, and you want the name to make sense to you. So future grid, okay, and just to make it more obvious, opening a new tab. Police updates. I refresh this, and it took me to that section. Then the other thing I should point out here is that you see that we've got two headers. Those are components that you can hide, you can duplicate, you can delete. Why do you need two headers? Because you want one header for users that are logged in and users that haven't logged in yet. So here you are viewing everything, but you say, I want to see the site only, how it looks only for login users. You're going to see only this header. If you want to see how it looks for non-logged users, you're going to see the other header, and so on and so forth. So let's go to something more interesting. Remember, here are the pages, and to work in a page, you need to navigate first to that page. So this is when things start getting interesting. You know, I'm already giving this. This is a list block, right? You could choose different blocks. Oh no, that's one. But if we want that sort of, you know, layout, you can add it and work with it. They all work the same way. I'm gonna just work with this one. And basically what you do here, there are how many? 5 tabs. And you're going to work mostly in those two. First of all, you need to choose the source. And the source is going to be your Airtable. But in your Airtable, you might have different bases. And bases, remember, is sort of a project. You might have different projects. I've got which no-code tool here. I've got, you know, indie domains, Prompted App. So we are playing with Prompted App. And in Prompted App, I've got different tables. And I'm just gonna look at it now. So if you see here, I've got prompt, I've got user, I've got model provider, and I've got AI provider. And this is when I got carried away and start getting myself into trouble, because I don't need really these ones. I just need a prompt table that shows everything related to a prompt. But I just thought that I might be, you know, I wanted an AI provider because I might be able to use the logos on some view of the application. So prompt, user, model provider, AI provider. And this is what it's showing me. It's bringing down those tables for me to choose one. And then I choose one. Okay, we are advancing in our checklist. And I've got here select view. And I have only one view, grid view. And that's a problem. And I explain you later why. So we've got this view here. We'll do something better later on if we've got time. Okay, there is not much to do here right now. You can actually choose, once you've got data connected, how many items per row you want to see. You can choose, you can filter, add a condition and filter to see based on a condition, and the condition is going to be based in one of the fields of the table you have used here. So for instance, if here I add a status column, and I'm going to make this column, is there a status? A single select. And let's call this in review, approve some sort of approve published. And then I'm going to say that this one is published or is being, well, whatever. Then here you can choose that field. You need to refresh, don't forget this, you need to refresh the data because we changed the data. No, we haven't changed the data, we changed the data model. So you don't need to refresh when you add new data, but when you change the tables, whether you add a column, you remove a column, you change the name, you need to refresh there in Softr. And those things are things that you won't remember, but you will find out when you work with it. Now here you can start, start filtering by approved. Yeah, it doesn't say, what it's telling me is that if I write it, I might do it wrong and it might not work. That is better. This is not the best way to do this anyway. They're really, and then it will filter that. Let's first of all start with the content. Categories. Basically, now what we need to do is to map all these things to our table. So here are the categories. One thing I need to say here is that this works only with two types. If you want to have it sync with your Airtable, wherever category you need to work on needs to be a select field. So you can here, the fields I use as categories, and basically function, model, mode, they're all type select. Wherever is multiple select or single select is what you need to, is the type of field that you need. So it syncs directly with Softr when it comes to the categories. Yeah, so if I say, what did we say? Model or something, model. You see, it's already picking up the model values from the database straight away. And you can, allow multi-select colors. You can make it nicer. Let's put some colors here. Huh? Or it can pick up the colors that Airtable has chosen for us. We don't need another category, or we could have a category here as well. Function. So it's placed here. I don't like it there, since there are too many functions and this is going to keep growing. I'm going to have to use a drop down. And I want the drop down up here. You see how I'm changing things? Am I going too fast? But basically, what I need you to understand is the key thing here is you need a database. You need a database with data, and that's Airtable. And then you need to connect it through using the API key to Softr, as we see. And then each view or each block each dynamic block needs to be connected to one of your tables in Airtable. So it can bring the data down. That's basically it. And then you start connecting the fields one by one. So we've got a quick preview here. And we're already seeing categories. The models and the functions. Obviously, we need to call them what they are, so it's clear for everyone. Functions or tasks. Okay, we saw that this filter didn't work, the filter on the source. And this is basically because it's actually a bad practice anyway. How you need to do this is here. And that's something I didn't do myself. What you need to do in Airtable is key for your project. Once you've got your grid, you can create different views, right? So if I go here and I create another view, I'm gonna call this approve. Because the idea is that people is going to submit their own prompts. So you want to review them before you publish them. And so you can start creating here your different flows, if you like. You come to filter, add condition. We say that status is approved. Okay, and there is none approved. I thought we had one published. Okay, let's put this one here, approved. Right. So now you've got the approved. Let's create another one for publish. And let's create a filter here, name status. What this allows you is to start creating a flow, right? You can, with automations, and we won't get into that now, but you can create flows where you check that all the columns that you need are filled, that the data is good data, and you can automatically move it into approved. And if it's in approved, you come here and you only look at the approved ones. And if you're happy with them, you change the status to publish. And then the published ones are the ones that you connect to Softr. So you only see those that has been already validated by yourself. So here I was saying that I was using, when I connected this block to my Airtable, I chose the project, the base, I chose the table, and I chose the default view. But now we are way more sophisticated. Now we can choose, remember to do this, refresh when we change the structure of the data model. What happens? So I'm going through the whole thing again. Okay, here they are, published. So that's the best practice to do this, right? And now, and now let's connect this button to our list very quick. So I need to navigate. I'm going to go to home because I remember this button is in home. I'm going straight to the button, do something interesting. Where are you? I don't want to scroll. I want you to open a page. Which page? List, because I think this is where I'm working. Publish. I refresh this. Okay. So we are now here. We are seeing our categories, and we are seeing only the records that have been approved. So basically now it's a question to start filling up and start adding the fields that we need there. So we need to move again to our list page. And our list page in content, we've got all these things that are not sync with anything. I'm going to leave the image by now. For now, we don't need it, but it looked nice. Let's leave it there. Here, let's see, this is the name. Name. And you see here, as you know, the moment you map it to the data, you see it show up here. You can add a label. We won't do that. We don't need it. Test. This is probably to need to be rich test because it's the prompt. And then, so just with that. And I know we've been jumping quite a bit back and forth. But just doing that right now, we already got a landing page with a button that allows for some navigation. The navigation already got categories that you can filter with. You've got a search that we haven't configured yet. But let's try if it's got something by default. No. And you've got a drop down to filter results, all connected to a database where we set a table. Search bar, find prompts, and you need to tell them by which fields you want to search. So I want to search by name, and I want to search by prompt. So now the search engine is already working. And what was that? 5 seconds to have a searching that works on your web app. That's pretty something. We've got 2 minutes left. I'm not sure if you guys want to look something in particular. There is one thing, because I know this course, this workshop is about software. But to be honest, software is the easy part. As you see, we've got pages connect to each other. Each block that you use in each page is going to connect to a table on your Airtable to bring down the data. And then you need to map the fields of the table with the fields of Soft. And you need to go one by one and start hearing content, mapping it together, and it shows up. But one thing that normally is super painful and takes ages is to actually fill up the database. Wherever directory you want to build, I showed you one. We looked before which no-code tool that had tools, that had products. To fill up that database takes ages. So there is I put in the resources a little add-on that is built by Airtable that is going to save you days, weeks of work. And it's called Web Clipper, and it's basically some sort of, web scraping tool that you can use. For instance, I've got prompts here. I want to add more prompts because at the beginning you don't have anything. If you don't have data here, you won't get users to add more. You need to present the users with a product that's already generous on data, so they feel, incentivized to add more. Let me see 1 second here. So for instance, I saw before a tweet around, I'm going to show you how this works. I saw this tweet, and that was a guy sharing a prompt that I found quite interesting. It's a prompt that tells ChatGPT to behave as a chief marketing officer, and it gives them the instructions and the structure to run a brainstorming session, which I think is quite an advanced prompt. So you see, I've got here an add-on. This is Brave. This is based on Chrome. If I come here, I created a clip, it's called, to pick up these things. So I've got this here, and you can do in a way that it autofills itself if you go always to the same type of source. If I was always coming to Twitter to find prompts, I could have programmed this to pick up the first sentence and fill up the name, pick up the rest of the body and fill up the prompt. Right now, because I'm going through GitHub and different sources, the only thing I've got automated is the source, picking up the source straight away. Oh no. So let's say I take that, I take the prompt, function, select a function here. This is something to do with marketing, marketing brainstorm, source, model. This is both GPT-4 and GPT-3. Come on. Description I don't have. Mode. an impersonator, because you are asking the model to be someone, and it's creative as well. Add record. So basically this is being added now. And this is a very handy way. Go away. Yeah, it is. Twice on the way. So that's a handy way. And if I go now to actually prompt it up, it should be there. CMO or something was called, right? Oh, here it is. It was duplicated because I was trying before, I was testing before. But that's the idea. Get your data, get your Airtable, fill up the Airtable with data, connect it to Softr. Once you connect to Softr, you can start building your pages, use the template Softr gives you, and start mapping the fields of your tables with the fields of the blocks from Softr. And if I do this, I was trying. It's too much. So, how are you feeling? We are over the time now. If you still have a few minutes, we can go through the details of prompt it up, for instance, to see how the list is connected to the detail and that sort of thing, or we can leave it here. Anyone? And also now, all good. Okay. Anyway, I've been invited to the Discord space, to the Discord server, so I'm happy to give a hand if you guys, you know, are blocked or something. But okay, let's have a look very quick to the project itself from Softr. Let's go back. All out, prompt it up. So I've got a landing. These sections I don't need. I'm going to delete it now. I've got different types of users. So if you log in, you can add a prompt. You see there. If you are not, I'm inviting you to sign in and sign up. If we look quick into the header, let me see both. So, well, in terms, you've got different links, right? And each link is almost like a button that it's got an action. It can open things. I'm going to create one just to show you. Add an action. You can add a sublink, and the action could be all these things. Open an external URL, open a page, scroll to a section. So right now I've got what we've got here. I've got community, and community those are subsections of community, submenu. And this is opens the profile of Upprompt, which is an account for this project, a newsletter that I don't have yet, but I could have, and link it there, whatever that's Substack or, and then sign in. Sign in opens a page that is called sign in. So let's look into that page. And this is giving, you know, that comes out of the box by Softr. I've got a placeholder here that I'm not using. Let's put something there to make it nicer. Okay, sign in. 2 ways of signing in: email and password, and also Google sign in. To do the Google sign in, you need to have integrated with Google sign in. You see there is a green dot here, and that's because I created my cloud project. I took the API, I created the project details. Well, you need to go through some things there to make this work, right? And it's actually working. If I come here, I sign in. I'm gonna sign in with Google because I'm lazy. I'm gonna use SuperAppimin. All right, so I'm here, and because I sign in, I'm already seeing this button here. And what this button does is, before I do it, well, it opens a modal with a form. And when I, let's create some. No code PH. As a no code student, and keep it up. And the source, there is no source. So this one, as you see, is required, name is required, the source is not, because it might be yours. And if you add this prompt, thank you. You see, I have to give you more space there so you can see the message. And then if I can to the database, no code prompty, add as a no code student and keep it up. I didn't add there the function or anything. In the form, I mean, because it's not complete. Okay. And GPT. And it's also impersonator and creative. All right. So now should be here as well. If I go to explore prompts, and I search for no code. Hey, here we are, a student. Let's try it. And then obviously I could do this with a custom code to auto fill up this. Anyway. Hey, what's the helpfulness? Oh. It's already helping. So let's look into the code, what that looks like. So we saw there was a form. Where are you? Oh, here. Let's see. So to work with the header is going to send you always to the home page. Keep it tight. And I have clicked on the signing. Let's do this. Login users. Let's go to the button. So what that button does is it opens a model, and the model is called add prompt. So this model is actually another page. Let me see if I've got a page around here called add prompt. Here it is. And basically this form, share your prompts with the community, etc., etc., is linked to a database, to a Airtable project, and is linked to a specific table. So I'm telling here this form to push the data to this table, and I'm telling them what data exactly. So basically, we are telling it that open this test maps to name, and those are fields that is picking up from the table. Name your prompt. What is this label? Prompt is the type long test, maps to prompt. It's got the label. The label is the one showing here. And by the way, I'm telling them that is required here. And then source is optional, right? It's not required. And that's how it works. And that's it. Anything else around here? Is there anything you want to look in detail based on the project you've got in mind or the challenge? Okay, so I'm not sure, Crystal, are you still around?
Yes, I'm still around.
Up to you. I'm happy to keep going for a little more, or we close it here.
I'm not sure what they want, but I think it's really up to you because they can leave anytime if they want to. Yeah. It's getting late here in the Philippines though, so.
Yeah. So some people are getting into bed. That's what I'm saying this. It's kind of funny. All right, guys. I think it's getting late. When you message, yeah, it's getting late. Let's close it here because I want everyone to be at the same level. But obviously, you can find me in the Discord server and ask specific questions when the time comes, when you start working on your challenge. Just be mindful that, I'm in Lisbon, and I think I'm 5 hours or 4 hours behind you. You are in the future, actually. I live in the past. And that's all. That's all. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we still have t-shirts to give away. So if anyone wants No Code Page t-shirts, Carlos, can you ask 3 questions, and then the first person who will answer in the chat box wins the No Code Page shirt. Yeah.
Oh, should I ask the questions? Okay. So what are the 3 main things that you need to do to create a project with Softr? Okay, we are reading here. Yes, I don't know.
Okay, I think Aga Mecarte was the first to answer. Is that correct?
Let's see. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, Carlos. Data logic presentation, database logic presentation, it should be a problem. So it's not the answer. You guys are right. You need the data logic and presentation. In this case, you don't need much logic for most projects because you can get Softr to talk directly to Airtable. You don't need a logic in the middle. What you need is an Airtable table, and connect the data to Softr. And so you need the Airtable table, you need the table with data, and you need to connect to Softr. And with those three things, you are good to go. All right, I'm gonna try to ask something more straightforward and not so suggestive. Where is a good place to see what can you build with Softr? If you want, yeah, Clarence, you are on it, and Aga too. Yeah, it's the templates. That's the right place to go and have a feel of the projects you can work with Softr. Do you have that?
Yay! Congrats, Clarence. I've sent you a message to how to claim your prize. Okay, last two questions, guys.
So what tool will you use to easily populate your Airtable table? So Airtable, well done, Aga. Man, Aga is on top of things. Web Clipper, that's right.
Yay, congrats. Okay, I also sent him a PM. Okay.
So what is the thing that does Softr allows you to publish your own project with your own domain free? Martin Antonio Reyes.
Yay.
Well done. You were quite quick there.
Yeah, congratulations to our winners. Yeah. Yeah, so
sorry guys, I wasn't prepared for this.
yeah, sorry about that. Yeah. So I think guys, everyone, let's thank our speaker and facilitator has been very generous with time and energy. So please either have a react emoji, a clap emoji, or a heart emoji, or just give your thanks in the chat box, please. Okay. Yeah, so we had fun learning more about Softr. We don't have time for Q&A. So if you do have questions, please follow Carlos at SuperAppimin on Twitter. And as he mentioned, he's also on our Discord server. So yeah, do you have any other last words, Carlos, before we end?
Well, I will say that, you know, I'm guessing that most of you have a main life, and this is a second life thing, right? Many of you are students, probably most of you are already working. So I will say to have something valuable that solves something by the 28th is quite tight. It looks easy, but when you want to produce something properly, it's going to take you quite a bit. So don't sleep on it and ask for help. Don't waste hours trying to solve something that is probably not solvable. Ask It's going to save you a lot of time.
Okay, that's
Good luck.
really great advice. Yeah, so thank you everyone for attending. For challenge participants, we'll see you in the group mentoring calls and hopefully demo day. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you, everyone.
Just one thing, people are asking for the Discord link. You might want to send it by mail later on to everyone.
Okay, yeah, I'll send it again here before ending. Yeah, to our challenge participants, please don't forget to attend the group mentoring calls and of course the demo day. Also, please don't forget to read the participant guide and join Discord. So I've just sent the Discord server invite link. See you, everyone. Thank you.
Bye, 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 team.
Bye.